Hey everybody, I want to start this series out with a bang. I want to teach you how to deprogram your brain and how to reprogram your brain. I want to start with basic fundamentals so that you get the core requirements that you need to literally transform your mind any way you want. Also want to introduce Lucy. Say hi, Lucy. She's my office buddy. You're a good girl, Lucy. Okay, let's jump right in. I want to teach you how your brain works. The first thing you need to know is how your brain processes information. Here's how it works. See, there's always this debate about what comes first. Do you have a thought and then that creates the feeling? Or do you have a feeling and then that creates the thought? Well, they figured it out. It's the thought and then it creates the feeling. The reason it's so confusing is they happen so close together. It's like that fast, that close together. Now, what happens is first you have a thought, then you have a feeling, and based on that, you take a certain action. So this is why virtually everybody in life fails to do their best. They're always working at a fraction of their capacity. Why? Because you don't know how to program and deprogram your brain. You don't even know how your brain works. Let me ask you something. How many things can you do approximately that you don't know how to do? That's right, 0. You can't do anything that you don't know how to do. So you got to learn how to control your mind. And what most people do is they have these negative bad feelings and they try to solve all these bad feelings and start to feel better because your emotions drive your actions. I mean, emotion comes from the root word motion, emo, which is emotion, feelings, and then motion, emotion. So that's what that is. The emotions are what drive all action and they spring from your feelings. So we go and we attack the wrong spot. We start working on our feelings instead of working on the thoughts that create the feelings. And that's why you lose. That's the hidden secret of psychology. Even therapists get this wrong. You're feeling really stressed and really tense. And instead of changing 2 things, which is 1, maybe you're just in a bad situation, you need to get the hell out. Okay, that would solve it. I'm a good therapist, but it's hard to make you feel better, when you're sitting in a bad situation. Second thing is you need to change your thoughts. The third and last thing, it's like the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% of everything is work on the feelings if you have to. But it's really all about working on the thoughts that precede the feelings and create the feelings. This is why when you go to a therapist and they say, well, let's do some stress management. So what you do is you keep thinking stressful thoughts, and you get more and more stressed. And you do a little bit of stress reduction. You go, for a minute, I give myself a break. And then I go right back to the stressful thoughts. And it almost seems to catch up with me and get worse. Every day I'm stacking stress upon stress upon stress until I don't know what the heck I'm doing. And then I start getting, it becomes somatic. It goes from my mind into my body and I start getting, neck pain and shoulder pain and back pain and hand pain and, headaches. And I start getting fatigued and run down, all because of my thinking. So remember the sequence. First you have a thought. Based on that, you have a certain feeling. And then based on that, the emotion, you have a certain reaction and you take an action. So everything flows from your thoughts. So what I want you to do is change the thought to change the feelings. Now, here's the money shot. Your emotions will always match your thoughts. You think happy thoughts, you have happy feelings. You think angry thoughts, you have angry feelings. You think worried thoughts, you have worried thoughts. You have anxiety. You think depressing thoughts, you have depression. Matter of fact, the minute you stop these thoughts, because they create the feeling goes away. People tell me they have depression. And then I tell them a joke and they laugh and all of a sudden they're feeling good. And I say, well, wait a minute, you were depressed. And they go, oh, yeah. Let me tell you about my depression. They go back into their depression. Well, they came in and they were depressed. Then I told them a joke and they were happy. And then they were depressed again. What did they do? They came in thinking depressed thoughts. Then I told them a joke. It took their mind off and it distracted them. And they started thinking happy thoughts. They were having the memory of the joke and laughing about the joke and picturing the joke and laughing and how funny it was. And they breathed different and they feel great. And then I say, oh, yeah, yeah, you came here to talk to me about your depression. And they go, oh, yeah, yeah. And they start thinking depression and they go right back into it. I did this and it was so funny in my office one time. A lady came in, she was just about in tears. Mr. Paul, you don't understand. I got such horrible depression. I'm lonely, depressed, and suicidal. And, oh gosh, I took her emotions up and down like this. One minute I had her laughing, next minute I had her crying. It was all about what I had her focus on. See, we think about what we focus on. If you focus on depression, you'll have depressed thoughts, and therefore you'll have depressed feelings, and you'll take depressed actions, which in depression is nothing. You sit there and you just don't move very much. If you think anxious thoughts, you'll look around the environment and you'll figure out everything you could possibly be nervous about. You'll let that consume all your thoughts, and you'll feel amazingly worried and anxious. Now, this is why therapists have you practice gratitude. Because the minute you practice gratitude, and most therapists don't even know why this works, you start thinking about the things that are good in your life and pulling out all the positives and putting those into you and into your mind. And you start focusing on positive things and thinking positive thoughts. Well, that works as long as you do it. So here's your strategy, and I want you to work on this for a while. Simply listen to your thinking. You're going to notice a weird thing. It's called metacognition. Humans are the only animals that think about their thinking. So you will hear a voice in your head. If you close your eyes and you wait anything like 5 seconds, you'll hear a voice in your head. The first voice in your head you're probably going to hear is, I don't hear any voice in my head. You just heard it. You think inside your head like a stream of consciousness, and most people can't go anything like 3 to 5 seconds without thinking. Matter of fact, your brain talks nonstop. Blah, 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 blah. My God, will it ever shut up? You just want to slap it. Shut up. So, notice that your brain's talking to you. Then notice what it's talking about. Is it focusing on positive things? Is it focusing on my goals? Is it focusing on how I can improve my life? Or is it feeling bad about my past, worrying about my future, feeling bad about my childhood, worried about money, worried about relationships, rerunning the day at my job that I hated, so I repeat it in my mind over and over again, and I call friends on the phone and we talk about the bad day we had because, hey, let's relive it with a friend. Control your mind, focus your mind, start deciding what you want to think about. If you want to feel like crap, think about all the terrible things in your life. If you want to feel good, think about the positive things in your life. And to move forward in life, think about the positive things that are goals. I'm thinking about the next YouTube video I'm going to do. I'm thinking about the next person I'm going to help. I'm thinking about, watching my views go up and seeing that I'm making a real impact in the world. I'm thinking about not being lonely. I got you here. I feel like you guys are in the room with me. I'm chatting to you one-on-one. We're making it happen. I'm having a good friendship here because a good friend teaches you the skills that you need to make your life better. And then I hear all the comments and stuff. I look in the comments section and there's joy there because people are getting better. That's what I focus on. And then, geez, I feel good all the time. Why not? Because I know how to run my brain. Now you do too. That's your tip for the day. Sometimes I put resources down below, so you might want to check for that. And I'll see you in the very next training.